tank blitzers and hopefully a few future mom rads. Littlefinger here today doing a full tank review on the Tier 4 American tank destroyer, the M8A1. Moving on to Tier 4 now in all of my reviews, and my crew skills were a little lacking in the TD, so I've gone ahead and purchased all 5 of the TDs in this tier. You can see them there, the T40, the M8, Hetzer, SU85, and the Electo. All play very differently, but I must admit I've had a fun time playing these yesterday. Tier 4 admittedly was a tier that I skipped over in my rush to Tier 10. And now that I'm going back and learning how to play these tanks, I really had a fun time. So let me pull up the tech tree here and just show you where the M8A1 resides. You can see here, starting at the left at Tier 1, the T1 goes straight to the right, T18, T82. The TD line then splits off between the T40 and the M8, primarily turret and turretless tanks, with the exception, obviously, of the Wolverine and Jackson. So moving up to the M8A1, all of these tanks are going to have turrets that turn, for the most part, 180 degrees up until you get up to the E4 there. So a really fun line. You can see I've made it all the way up. Really enjoyed the T30 and the E4. The T28, really dependent upon your team. Hellcat's a nice fast tank, so is the T49. I really enjoyed this line. Let me go into the setup here. Consumables was running repair kit, multi-purpose, and adrenaline. Provisions running all 3, protective kit, standard fuel, and can of cola. Ammunition only running about 5 APCR. That was kind of on the low side. A couple games I might have wished I had 1 or 2 more there. So you might want to just go ahead and increase that a little bit. Equipment, I went ahead and ran this as a standard TD, meaning I was trying to stay concealed as long as possible. So rammer, binoculars, and camouflage net. Now obviously setup on these tanks, enhanced gun lane drive is always recommended. But as one of my commentators recommended, if you're going to run camo net or telescope, you might as well run them both for that added benefit. So that's what I decided to do with this tank, and I had a good time with it. Let me pull up the spreadsheet, and we'll just compare it quickly to the other tanks. Alright guys, here's our trusty spreadsheet. You can find this in-game or on blitzstars.com. They've got a great tank compare. I prefer looking at it in a spreadsheet like this. I've added a couple new things. You can see here are our 5 Tier 4 TDs, and I've got a couple of them listed with multiple guns just because I felt like you could run it with either or. But M8A1 listed on top here and highlighted. You can see at 450 hit points, it is slightly above average. It is the only tank with a turret. Makes it a little bit different, makes it play more like a heavy or medium. The engine horsepower at 361 is really good because it gives you a best-in-class top speed there of 58 kilometers per hour. While the traverse is not that great, it's offset obviously by the fact that you can also turn your turret at the same time. Gun depression, here's a new column here. This is really interesting. -8 degrees to +10 degrees. This is a really good hill tank. You can get up on some nice hills and get that gun depression down. Obviously with the aiming arc you can turn that turret 180 degrees. Terrain resistance, this is going to be your hard, soft resistance and how that impacts your maneuverability. So this is 1.0 for hard, which is going to be your rocks and pavement. 1.2 for your medium, which is going to be grass, dirt, sand, shallow water, those type of things. And 1.5 for soft terrain such as deep water or swamps, and a couple dirt roads in the game. But anyway, you can see that'll slow you down once you get into those other terrain types, but you can see overall this tank does move pretty well regardless of the terrain type. So anyway, I've got this installed here with the 3-inch AT-M7 gun. The penetration values 101, 157, and 20 for the AP, Pramo, and HE. All pretty good. You're going to do about 160 damage per shot, which is obviously below average. But the rate of fire here is above average. Now, I put damage per minute in here, but I really don't think that that is a true indicator of which gun you should use. I mean, obviously, you look at the Hetzer, it's got some bad dispersion, but it does have a high damage. So you're going to get 1,400, the SU 1,500 damage per minute. But in reality, that's in a world where every shot lands and every shot penetrates, which isn't always the case in this game. So take damage per minute with a grain of salt here. Aim time 4 seconds is pretty good. Dispersion there is better than average. New column here, which I thought was kind of interesting, credit coefficient. So this is how much credit you're going to earn for running this game when compared to some of these other tanks. So you can see there the T40 does not earn as many credits as you would in the M8. The Electo, obviously at 1.5, is going to earn a lot more credits. And I think that's primarily because it's a more difficult tank to do well and to score high in. So anyway, overall, very good tank. I love the fact that it's a TD with a turret. Makes it a little bit easier for you guys that aren't used to playing turretless tanks. Get in, and so let's take a look at a couple of gameplays. Okay, so the first game I want to show you here is on mines. We are bottom tier, and as you can see by the makeup of this team, we have 3 other TDs in the game beside myself. So with that in mind, I don't want to push up all the way over the hill and keep them from cresting. I want them to crest. I want our TDs at the back there to be able to get their shots in. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here right where the tanks usually come up. And what I'm going to do in this game is I'm going to aim for tracks and get as many shots in as possible here. You can see where I'm just switching places with the Covenanter, but I'm aiming for tracks because I want them stopped right there, and I want the rest of our team to be able to get shots in. So they've managed to push 3 guys up that are out of harm's way now for the most part. But I'm protected from the hill right here, and all of a sudden we get the Churchill that is going to push up on over. Now I'm keeping in mind that we've got 3 TDs behind us. I'm hoping that they'll take shots. I don't see any other damage getting taken from this Churchill, so I'm going to push and cover myself as best I can behind the Covenanter here. And luckily he gets taken out, and not sure why the PZ4 decides to bail healer. You know, both of us are one shot to that PZ4. I don't know why he turns and runs away, but anyway, he gets a couple shots put into him and he's out. So a very quick working on these guys here, now down to 2 tanks, and a little bit unfortunate here. Bounced that shot. Only carried a few APCR rounds. Probably could have used a nice APCR. Obviously I was using APCR on that Churchill. That was either do that or die. And unfortunately I waste a shot there and get taken out here by the T-34, but team's gonna go ahead and finish him off here in 1 second. So we'll speed this up and end the game here. Take a look at the stats. This was a mastery game for me with a scout medal there, 1,466 damage, which was aided there with my ability to spot. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots there, and obviously helping with the shooting tracks and getting damage assistance that way. So Really interesting gameplay there as far as a TD being at the bottom of the hill and just pumping out damage there. Alright, so second game here on Canal. I am platooned up with Rick. He is founder of the Mean Old Men. This was kind of enjoyable playing with him this morning. And so I'm going to push up. This is one of the few times as a TD. I'm going to go sit in the typical camping spot, so to speak. And because I have the turret and I'm able to rotate that, I can sit still here and you can see that my binoculars and camo net are active. Just keep in mind, if you do get spotted, that you want to immediately get down as fast as possible. Do not wait and try to get a shot in, because likely 3 or 4 other guns are pointed at you and you're going to take more than one shot. So just sitting up here waiting for this game to unfold. You can see here Rick's holding that front line, doing a good job, and we'll let them just come on over, knowing that they've got all of this firepower behind, and we'll go ahead and get a nice shot into the A20 and track him. I don't think anyone helps me out there, but sometimes it's a little tough, shooting at such a distance, 250 meters here, to hit a moving target. Obviously, when they sit still like this, it helps out. KV1 has decided he's going to make the trek up the slow hill here. See if we can't weave one in between the bar there. Get the first one through. Second one hits the bar. Bummer. But yeah, I don't know why he's decided to go up the side of the hill there and not right down the middle. That shot goes right over the top of him and misses. But now at this point, it looks like he's tracked. He's not going anywhere. We will go ahead and get another shot into him. He's going to back down, thinking, it probably wasn't a good idea. But he stops right here. Great. So we'll finish him off. One guy left. Chances are he's AFK somewhere. So let's speed this up. But just check out how nimble this tank is. Up and over the hill. No problems. We are going to motor around, trying to get to the AFK spot. Just checking the corner in case he was camped out here. And sure enough, we find him. And he's moving. This guy has sat in this corner the whole game. Yeah, we'll shoot one into his tracks and just back up. Wait for the reload. Pull forward. Shoot tracks and back up. Obviously not a very experienced player. Almost feel sorry here, just taking hit points away from him. But at this point, he can shoot me all he wants. I'll pull up and finish him off. So quite a nimble little tank, can get around quite well. Obviously that was a nice spot. 1789 damage. Obviously it wasn't a mastery because I wasn't contributing to the team as far as spotting and other things that'll get you extra credits in this tank. Okay, third game here in a row, being bottom tier, this time Middleburg. Instruct the team that we are going to the hill. Thankfully everybody decides to listen. Get a little worried when you see the mediums fleeing the hill like that, but anyway, so I'm looking at the mini map here. I'm just going to stop here. There's no point in me pushing up all alone. I'm waiting for the rest of my heavies and TDs to catch up, and when I feel that they are close enough to support me, I'm going to go ahead and continue pushing forward. T-34 spots, get a shot, ricochet that off the front plate there. Just making sure that I'm able to get around the back of this hill and prevent any shots from him. We all push forward. He's going to try to escape and get around, but to no avail. You can see how there it'd be pretty difficult for me to turn and keep up with a faster tank like that, just with that traverse speed being so slow. But anyway, they've got someone sitting in base. They're at 33 seconds. Not critical yet, so no point rushing down there. Let's go ahead and take some of these other guys out that are sitting out in the open. Toaster's going to come around, and we're going to go ahead and finish him off. And now they're at over 56 seconds. Wanted to get one shot into M3, but he manages to get around, get a shot into the PZ4. And my idea here was just to keep on going straight into cap, but my driver got a little drunk, I think, and smashed into the wall. They're at 75 seconds, so sure enough, I want to get in here and help reset cap. M4 gets the first shot in. I get the second shot. Looks like he's decided to quit the game. M4 goes ahead and finishes him off. Peek around this corner here and see that we've got the M3. I get a shot in as I'm backing away. Poor old M4 is going to pay the price for peeking around the corner. We've got the DW moving in on us. I switch over to APCR. M3's moved, and I'm just backing up on the reload, trying to keep some objects between me and that DW, which I suspected was coming for me. Leo's right there. Obviously don't need APCR for him, and really don't need APCR for the DW, as you'll see here in a second. So they are now just one shots for both of us. It's 2-on-2. DW has a nice angle on me and pushes through the corner, so I don't shoot him, but the Leo sticks out. I was afraid that shot on the DW was going to bounce, so didn't take it. And we got one in his booty for kill number 3. And you can see here, bottom tier again. We've done over 1,400 damage, level 1. This tank is really strong, powerful. I can't stress the fact, I love the fact that it's got a turret. I've really enjoyed going back and playing this tank. So here's the last game I'm going to show you. Top tier here. Instruct the team, let's go to the caves and hold that high position. And off we go. And you see the BT2 and everyone else follows them straight to the cap circle. So we've got a moron team. No point going to the caves alone. So I'm going to pull up to this bush here thinking that they're probably going to come straight around the caves and come crashing into the base. Well, since the fact that they've already at 23 on the base cap, they're just going to go straight down the middle and start putting shots into these guys just sitting out in the open. I have no idea where that shot came from there that tracked me. Wasn't even spotted, light bulb never even came on. I think that was just a random shot. But anyway, so you can see here that we've one-on-one. We've each lost a tank at this point in the game. But it's going to fall apart fast. These guys sitting out in the open, focusing in on this A20 here, and then I'm going to pull down into some cover, get a shot into the medium 3 there, and you can see now this game has really quickly folded. And we've got the Electo down in front of me who's AFK. Martyr rams himself to death on the B2. I mean, you know, it's just amazing how bad some teams can be. But even with all of this being the last tank alive, a horrible, horrible team, you can see I still managed to do 1,184 damage. I had so many games of 1,400, 1,600 that I could have showed you here today. I really enjoy this tank. I think it's great to get your TD crew experience in. Highly recommend the entire tank line, to be honest with you, all the way up the T30, the E4. So anyway, have fun out there, guys. Enjoy the game regardless of your teammates. Have fun. Stay safe. Get educated. Not fingered. Littlefinger out.